Now, I'm only going to say this once. Great Sam Bannon. I'm only going to say this one time. I'm going to sign a contract. I'm going to sign a contract, all right? I'm going to take whatever team can give me so I can stay. I want them to kick that eggplant to the curb. Stupid, get suspended this time of year. Kick his ass to the curb and sign my buddy Brad. My buddy Brad! We're going to play together for a few years till he runs off into the sunset. That's what I'm telling you to do. You want me to sign a contract? Eggplant gone, buddy Brad in.
The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1,
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
All right, Panther fans. So, in what should be indicative of how this spring is going to go for me, it is the first day where it is beautiful sunshine. It is going to be almost 80 degrees, and spring is here, and I'm not fishing. It's 1 o'clock on a Sunday. That's nice. Tomorrow's going to be nice too, temperature-wise, except it's supposed to rain all day. So I'm still going to try to do the members podcast while I'm fishing. For those of you who are new here, I have a members podcast that I do Monday through Friday, and we try to do some different things. I went fishing a couple weeks ago. It was too cold. Now it's beautiful. It's beautiful! But I'm here watching a non-football game at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. So we've got Montreal. Yeah, Montreal. That's who we got. I try to ignore them because they've been beating our ass both times this year. Now, the way that Maurice has put the performance in those games is that he doesn't like our game that we played. He wasn't happy with our game. Now, both times, Montreal has played really hard, really fast. They've got a lot of excitement, a lot of juju, and we've just kind of yawned at him and said, whatever, kid, go ahead, win the game. I would suspect we're going to see a different Panther team today. And that doesn't guarantee we're going to win, because Montreal they had it. They had it in their hand. It was right there in their hand. 8 seed, and what is it, 5 in a row that they've lost? And everybody else has been so bad that if Montreal still wins their games in hand, they'll still get the 8 seed. So they're going to be desperate for points. And we play them again on Tuesday, and then on the second end of a back-to-back, we play the Leafs the day after we play Montreal. So that's nice. Now, apparently, Bubba is in net today, so I guess we'll see Vanacek Tuesday. Bubba against the Leafs on Wednesday. You would assume that's the way it's going to go. And, of course, Marchand is going to be back on the ice. Kulikov is expected, hopefully, back the last week of the season. So whatever that means, just like Chucky's hopefully back the first week of the playoffs. It's a lot of hope. A lot of hope. It's 2 points. All right, you know what? I would like to see Montreal get us to overtime, because I honestly think it would be fun to see Montreal get the 8 seed and then beat the Capitals, right? Let Washington win the President's Trophy, and then Montreal beats them. I'd like to see that. No offense to the Ovi fans. So we'll get this game to overtime 3-3, and then finally Verhaeghe in overtime wins it 4-3. I'm making shit up in my head now. Let's get 2 points. All right, so tied at 1 after 1. Good game. Lots of penalties in this game. Bornfoot takes a really bad high-sticking penalty. Not bad like bloody, but just stupid and unnecessary. Montreal gets on the board. Laine from a bad angle beats Bob. And then before I could finish lifting, Sam Reinhart takes care of the business himself, and it's 1-1. We certainly look like we're playing better than we have against Montreal the first couple of times. Still not quite pleased with the level of zone time that Montreal is able to have. They do still seem to be wanting to work harder than we are to get to the puck when they're in the offensive zone. Now, we're in the offensive zone, we are forechecking and causing some havoc. And we've had a couple of good chances. Verhaeghe just had one here towards the end of the period, but you know how that went. Samoskevich had a beautiful chance on the power play. I believe Monty made a fantastic save on that. It got deflected somehow because it looked like it was going right on goal, and then it kind of veered off and missed. So there's that. The only other thing is Bornfoot. I mean, Belinskas is serviceable, But Bournefoot, he's just so inconsistent. He hasn't made any bad defensive plays yet today, but he was responsible for the power play. Just not. I still wish we would have had one more veteran defensive guy like Kulikov to call up, even from the AHL. Somebody that just could play a consistently boring game. Somebody who we forgot was on the ice. All right, let's move on to the second period. So, it's 2-2 after 2. Now it was 1-1. Now it's 2-2. Beginning of the game, I said 3-3. I don't know about Verhaeghe in overtime, though. He just had another chance. I mean, I've not seen a guy whose whole reputation is swaggy. His whole reputation is when it's late in the game or when you need a goal and the chips are down, it's just a guarantee he's putting the puck in the back of the net. And this dude, he can't score. He's getting chance after chance after chance, which I guess is a positive, but he can't score. So the refs called Lundell for just an absolute stupid interference call. It shouldn't have been. And like 10 seconds into the power play, Montreal sends a puck across the crease. Seth Jones tries to go down to block the shot, and instead he kicks it in with the back of his skate. It deflected off the back of his skate. Wouldn't have mattered anyway, because if the pass got through, somebody was right there by the side of the net for Montreal, wide open. So there's that. And then we came back and we tied it. Now Sam Bennett left the bench. He came back. And I don't know that it was lower body, because I seen him he was like playing with his shoulder or like maybe his neck a little bit. And then somebody asked him if he was okay, and he was okay. And he's out there playing. And then Matheson just tried to take Barkov's head off. I would like to see Gadjevich on the ice in the next game. I would like to see Gadjevich on the ice instead of Boqvist in this next game against the Canadiens, because Boqvist is just kind of out there. He hasn't scored a goal in forever since way before we gave him that contract extension. He's not really doing anything at all. So I'd like to see Gadjevich get on the ice because Montreal is just taking shots, which teams are going to do, right? So, all right, you know what I said before the game. See what happens. So, you know what? From now on, when they lose like this, ring comes off. So, 4-2 Montreal. So, Montreal's got a good team. They played well. They played hard. They played fast. Monty has turned into Patrick Waugh only when he's played against the Panthers. So, for those of you who, and I kind of agree with the last year in March, we kind of coasted through the game. You know, we were like 7-7 in March, and we're not giving our full effort because of not being in the playoffs yet, and Ekblad and Kachuk and Kulikov and all that. That's fine. We're going to take all that, put it over here. All right? Now, I grasp all of that. Nobody understands that more than I do, because I probably give that opinion more than anybody else. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine for the playoffs. That said, it's 3-2. Now, look. I mean, one of the goals goes off Jones' skate, right? Okay, we got Bournefoot and Balinskis out there like Keystone Cops half the freaking time. Bournefoot's just not. I understand what Zito was trying to do, because we struck goal with Forsling, and you figured, how bad can Bournefoot be? He was a first-round draft pick. Yuck. Just yuck. So, I understand. However, there's 10 minutes left, and we still have Barkov and Reinhart and Verhaeghe and Bennett and Marchand and Samoskevich and Lundell and Jones and Forsling. I mean, we still got guys. We still got some guys. And just, you seen it? You seen the difference between the two, the difference in the desire between the two teams. Montreal's playing heavy forecheck, making sure we can't even get into the zone. And we, not anything remotely close to what our full effort should be. But, sometimes you just have to start the engine to see if the freaking car runs. You keep the antique grandpa's car in the garage. Every so often, you got to go out there and just make sure it still works. And this was the perfect opportunity. There's 7 minutes left, and then 5 minutes left, and then 3 minutes left. And Maurice is going to take Bob out, and what's going to happen is Montreal's going to block their 50th shot of the game and get the puck and put it in the back of the empty net, which is exactly what happened. And nobody stepped up. Nobody. And that's disappointing. Now, I grasp the fact, we're still playing for first place. It's not like we're playing for nothing, right? We could end up in third place at this point. I don't think Ottawa's going to catch us, but we got to win some games here. And I understand that Montreal is playing for their life. They lost 5 in a row. And of course, they come into Florida, and that's the game that they win. Don't forget, the President's Trophy season, when we yelled, we want 10 all year, and in the last game of the year, we decided we don't care anymore, and Montreal scored 10. Now, this game was not that bad, but I understand you can't play full balls to the wall playoff hockey all 82 games. I understand Montreal is playing for their life. I grasp that. But for 5 minutes, these guys couldn't have put together Stanley Cup level, playoff level effort, at least on the offensive side. Just not enough give a fuck. Just not enough. Just not quite enough on the Panthers' end. And of course, Montreal has all the motivation. So what do we see on the ice? Verhaeghe needs to get moved down at this point. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. But if game 1 of the playoffs was tomorrow, and Tkachuk is back, Barkov, Reinhart, Samoskevich, if you want to go hot and heavy, Bennett, Tkachuk, Marchand, Lundell, Luosterainen, Rodriguez. Boquist is a waste of space right now. He's not doing anything. I know Zito signed him to an extension that might have been a tad early. He hasn't had a goal since the 25th of January. February. It's been a while. And he's only got like 1 assist, 2 assists. You're not seeing the speed, right? The speed that he was exhibiting earlier in the season. And so now we've got this guy at 2 years of 1.5. He's not really a fourth line guy, so that's why they've got him on the third line next to Lundell and Luosterainen. And total meh out of that position. So I would like to see a few things get moved around. Verhaeghe needs to get moved down. We're just not scoring enough goals. And Verhaeghe just needs a complete change of scenery. Today he had a couple of open shots, backhands. Now I understand that's the shot you're on. If you don't have time to move it to the forehand, you got to take a shot. But he needs a change of scenery. And he's screwing up the juju of the top line at this point. So either put Samoskevich up there, put Rodriguez back up there, put freaking Nosek up there. Anybody but Verhaeghe. Let Balinskis go play forward. Anybody but Verhaeghe on that top line. It's got to happen, Maurice. He's not playing himself out of the slump. And don't lie to us and say he's not really a slump. He's playing well. The pucks aren't just going in. We don't care. There's 9 games left. Something's got to whack this guy out of his misery. So there's that. Second line looked pretty good doing their normal thing. Samoskevich, I wonder if he leads the team in shots most night. It seems like it. That's the best part of his game, in my opinion. He's good all the way around. But with Samoskevich, he's going to do everything he can to get the puck at the net, as opposed to somebody like Barkov, who would look at the empty net and wait. Is there anybody to pass to? No, Barkov, you're by yourself. There's no goalie. Yeah, but does somebody else want to? Anybody, guys, a fan want to come down and take this pass? Anything? I know the net's here, but oh shit, they stole the puck because I waited so long to shoot. I love you, Barkov, but just a little bit more aggression. Lundell has disappeared into a vacuum-sealed tube. Hopefully he'll come up for the playoffs. He played a good 10 minutes the other night when Bennett was out. Remember that? All of a sudden, Lundell was noticeable and he got a goal. You put him back on the third line with Luosterainen, who he knows is never going to score, and he goes back to sleep. So there's that. I already talked about this. Gadjevich needs to be on the ice. Montreal starting shit after every shift, which is fine. That's good hockey. We like that kind of hockey. We got no Kachuk, right? And you need Gadjevich out there to do some damage. I know Marchand came in, but honestly, it should be on the right side. Reinhardt, Marchand, Rodriguez, Gadjevich with Boquist off the ice. Give him a break. Rest his legs. He looks like ass out there. Sturm has been okay. I don't know what the numbers were in the face-off and the draw, but it didn't feel so good. Kind of felt like we were losing a lot of draws. Forsling, Jones was fine. Jones had a couple times today where he exhibited his rocket-like speed. If rockets flew backwards. He's slow, like really slow. I'm not sure he would beat Ekblad in a race. I'm not sure. And I mean that. I mean, like, I want to see those two in a race, and I might put $5 on Ekblad. Second pair, Mikula Schmidt. I'm hoping that Schmidt, the extra minutes, doesn't wear his old ass out. And don't even get me started about Balinskis and Bournefoot. That one could hurt. It's hurting now. I've said it 1,000 times. I said it 1,000 times on the noon streams long before the deadline came. I wanted one solid veteran defenseman, so that if somebody got hurt, like a Kulikov, we could pull a Kulikov clone off the bench and stick him on the fourth line where he would just stay there and stay home and not do stupid shit like Bournefoot does. So there's that. And the other last thing I want to bitch about a little bit is the guy I don't really bitch about all that often, but it's Maurice. He's stuck with this lineup a little bit too long. He's stuck with Verhaeghe a little bit too long with Boquist. Let's get Gadjevich back in. The fourth line was looking really good. Sturm, Gadjevich, Greer. Rodriguez is not really doing much. Throw his ass up on the top line. Put Verhaeghe down with Lundell and Luosterainen. Get Boquist off the ice. Get Gadjevich back in. And act like you care about scoring goals. I know you want to win every game 2-1, but your defense sucks. You're not going to win 2-1. You're going to need to win 3-2 or 4-3. They're going to have to score goals, Paul. And emptying the net ain't going to be the trick to do it. That's nice. So, this was Sunday afternoon. We lost to Montreal 3 times now, and we're probably going to get hosed again on Tuesday because I don't think these guys care until the playoffs come. And which, by the way, when's Chucky going to start skating? We're getting really close. We're 3 weeks away. You got to figure the dude's got to skate for at least a couple of weeks before we can even pretend he's ready to play playoff hockey, right? If we don't see Tkachuk on the ice this upcoming week, playoffs start April 20th. If we don't see Chucky on the ice by like April 10th, I'm starting to worry. Now, I know that that's still 10, 11 days away, and that's fine. I hate losing. But this was a game where you knew what Montreal was going to be playing for, and that's fine. Good for them. I'd like to see them make the playoffs because I think they can beat the Capitals. No, I'm not putting any money on that. But I'd like to see them make the playoffs. So I don't really care that they got the 2 points. But the last 7 minutes of the game where we need a goal, it was the perfect time to practice. Okay, let's pretend it's the playoffs for 5 freaking minutes. Do our legs work enough? I know Kachuk's not there. I know Ekblad's not there, but he kind of is because Jones is there. He's pretty much just as slow. But Jones got a goal today. Kind of lucky, Monty 5-hole. But they didn't raise their level of play. And that's been the bitching and complaining I've had the other 2 times we played Montreal. Now, we played better today-ish, sometimes. But Montreal just wants to beat us so bad. You can see it. But, man, play 5 minutes of playoff hockey. Give it a shot. Try. If the puck don't go in, that's fine. We dominated a couple of shifts. Montreal played well. But if we can't outplay Montreal just because Chicken Chuck's not on the ice, what are we doing? All right, that's enough. I'll be live tomorrow at noon for your therapy session. The chat should be utterly fantastic since we'll probably be in 3rd place. We might be out of the playoffs by the end of the game that night. I'm kidding. It sucks though, because now we're gonna be points behind now. Now we're gonna be in a position where we need to win against Tampa and we need to win against Toronto, or just shut it down and just take 3rd place and start on the road for all of the damn playoff games. I don't know. If we take 3rd place, Who are we playing? Toronto or Tampa, right? Probably Toronto. If we take third place, I think Tampa will win the division. Tampa's got the easiest schedule out of the three. So if Tampa wins the division, they get Ottawa. If we finished in third place, we'd be on the road to start against Toronto. Not exactly afraid to play Toronto on the road. It's just a lot of travel. But it's not a good way to end the season, you know? So, all right. I'll see you tomorrow at noon. I was going to do 2 points. There's no points. This sucks.